Hey, friends! Welcome to the Swing My Heart podcast. Come join me, your host, Nicole, for some hope filled conversations about heartfelt entertainment that makes your heart swing. Hi, Jedidiah. This is Nicole from the Swing My Heart podcast. How are you?
Hello, Nicole. Thank you very much for having me today.
Of course, it's
I'm
nice to
I'm
meet you.
excellent. How are you?
Good, it's nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you.
So, my first question for you is you've worked across genres from the originals to Finding You. What drew you specifically to a period drama romance like this? And is there a past role that unexpectedly helped you prepare for your role as Clayton?
Yeah, you know what? I well, first off, I love this kind of time period. The being out on the frontier and just all of the. It's a different time than we live in now. There's no. I am not technologically inclined, so I'm much more somebody who loves to like go out camping and make a fire and do all of that stuff. So this was kind of right up my alley. And then to work with horses and to dress up like a cowboy every day, or a blacksmith in town is just yeah. It scratches that itch inside of every actor. I feel like we all kind of had growing up and never left us of like playing dress up. It's just so, and the costumes are so good. Like the people who are doing the costumes are amazing. So everything about the show just drew me towards it. And then playing Clayton was yeah, just I love the guy so much. He's such a good guy, and he's always trying to do the right thing. So I really respect that.
Yeah, well, you've done a great job as Clayton, and I am looking forward to seeing more of your character on the show.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah,
Sure.
me too.
Yeah. And I've always liked that period of time too. I'm always a big period drama, romance kind of girl. So yeah.
Yeah. And I'm a bit of, I won't lie, I'm a little bit of a romantic myself.
Oh, yeah.
Clayton
That's
is
awesome.
definitely a romantic,
Yeah.
and it's very reminiscent of a younger myself, or even myself now. When I catch feelings like that, I can be shy and be looking at my feet kind of thing and not knowing what to do. But I think you know what you the other part of that question, a character I've played in the past that helped me for this, surprisingly enough, Chad Charming. Chad
Okay.
Charming and Clayton, they are very, very different. Very, very different characters, but they both have that kind of thing at their core where they're kind of just like innocent, naive. Like I said, they always want to do the right thing. Now, Chad ends up doing the wrong thing a lot more
Oh
than
no.
maybe he
Yeah.
does the right thing, but it's always coming from a place of,
Mhm.
um, yeah, trying to do good in the world. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
That's
that's
awesome.
that's one thing that I was like, oh, these are pure guys that are pure. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's always good to hear. Yes. Always love good characters with a pure heart.
Yeah.
So, speaking on a little bit of the romance, Clayton is in a bit of a love triangle with Olivia and Mountie Alexander. What makes Clayton's connection with Olivia different from what Mountie Alexander offers her?
Well, I mean, Clayton, I think is they they share a lot of similarities, Clayton and Olivia.
Okay,
They're
yeah.
both kind of artistic in this world that is not devoid of art, but it's just less common for people to be spend their time on things like art and noticing the beauty around them because there's so many challenges back then that takes all of your focus to just survive. And these are two Clayton and Olivia are two people that take the time to smell the roses kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think he's familiar to her. He's from the same community. He's from that same kind of like hardworking thing. And then also this uh, soulful person that is has dreams beyond this. I think they both share that. And then in waltzes Mr. 6'3", gorgeous hair Mountie, who just is something I don't think she's ever seen before, and none of us have really ever seen before. So it's I think a bit of that push and pull of what is familiar to you and what you kind of feel relationship with, and then something completely new coming in, and you kind of wanting to explore, like, "Oh, what is this new person all about?" So
Oh yeah, I
yeah.
love that, and I love the dynamic that you and Roan have together on screen. And I think one of my favorite scenes so far that I've seen is the one when you give her the carved deer. So it's a great moment.
The deer.
Yes.
Fun fact about that, I that little deer figurine, somebody took the time to carve that
Wow,
out, and it was beautifully done, and it
that's
was so
amazing.
fragile. And they handed this to the wrong guy, and they were like,
Oh
"Do
no.
not drop this. We have one of these." And
Oh
it took
no.
me all of like 10 minutes. I think we got like one take where it was intact, and then I dropped it. And anyways, I felt
Oh
so
no.
silly and so stupid. But yeah,
Oh, that was a
but
good
that
scene.
deer, it was so like, when they first handed that to me, I was like, yeah, oh my goodness, of course this is what he made for this, this woman that he loves, kind of thing.
That
And
was a good
yeah.
scene. So my last question for you is, When Calls the Heart is known for hope, resilience, and community. How did those themes show up differently in this earlier version of The Town? And what is one life lesson or message you hope Hearties take away from watching season one?
Um, well, it is a time, like, just being in the time and the place, the frontier. Everybody is kind of, there's two things that I think are common among people in the frontier in that time. They all have this in common. It's a tough life. You got to be ready to rise to the challenge, otherwise you might not eat, otherwise you might not, you know have a roof over your head, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And so they all share that in common, and this is a great show to just show, like, yeah, what was life like back then before we had DoorDash and things like that.
Yeah.
But then I think, also, it's a lot of people that come from a past that they are either running away from, or just walking away from, or just looking to start life anew. And I think this is there's, in season one, there's so many mysteries up for grabs. Like, we don't really know the life all of these people were leading before we meet them. But usually they're going to the frontier because they're wanting something new. And I think that is what I would take away, or would love for, the Hardys to take away from this show, would be, you can rise to any challenge that comes up to survive, and it doesn't matter what has happened behind you. It's, where you're headed, and where your feet are right now, that really matters. So don't ever beat yourself up, and always rise to the challenge. Yeah.
That's a great message. And I love the shows with a great message. And I think that the world needs more shows like When Calls the Heart, Hope Valley 1874.
Well, we love
Yes.
making it. I had such a
Yes.
great time making this one, and I
Yes.
can't look. I can't wait to see what happens in the future.
I can't wait
So thank
either.
you,
And
Nicole.
yes, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I had a great time.
Me too.
All right, Hearties, that concludes the interview with Jedidiah Goodacre. If you enjoyed this episode and are watching on YouTube, you can like this video and share what your favorite scene of Clayton is in the comments. If you are listening on Spotify, make sure to rate and review, as your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If you want to stay up to date on all of my episodes, you can subscribe to this channel on YouTube and follow along on Spotify, and make sure to hit the bell so you are alerted when those new episodes are posted. You can also find the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Swing My Heart Podcast, and Twitter at Swing My Heart Pod. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Love y'all. Bye.